What's up guys, Doomwake here, and welcome to another modern video on the channel. As always, before we continue, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Please let me know in the comment section below what you thought of the video, and if you enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Let's go ahead and see if we can get this video to, I'll say 153 likes. So, the Modern Showcase Challenge event took place this past weekend. It's actually yesterday. I'm recording this on Sunday, and SpiderSpace, a notable, streamer. I know he streams from time to time still. He played this Indomitable Creativity deck, and he made it all the way to the finals, only losing to Amulet Titan in the finals. And I wanted to highlight this deck and play a league with it because I have tried Indomitable Creativity strategies in the past, but I haven't been a fan of them for a couple of reasons. One, the mana can be a little bit shaky at times, and two, the threats in the deck previously have been like Sarah's Emissary, Emrakul, Sarah's Emissary, those kinds of things. And the problem with those, like the versions that play Emrakul and Emissary, if you can always creativity for X equals 2 and get both of them into play, usually that can lock people out. The problem is it forces you to creativity for 2, so you're turning creativity into essentially always a 5-mana play as opposed to being a powerful 4-mana play, because sometimes you hit the wrong one and that's not good enough. So I'm a really big fan of this version that gets the creativity into Archon. So let's just kind of go over what the deck's trying to do. So here is Indomitable Creativity for those of you who may not know what it does. Basically, you blow up some artifacts or creatures. You can do it for X and 3 red, and then you get to flip until you hit that many creatures and put those creatures into play. So, for example, if you, let's say, have, I don't know, a Hard Evidence 03 token, and you creativity blow up your own token, you flip until you get an Archon, you put the Archon into play. That's what we're trying to do. So, because creativity has X in its cost, you can actually do it for more than one. So, for example, if you have, let's say, a Hard Evidence Clue token and a Crab token, you can creativity both of your own things away, and then you put 2 Archons into play, so on and so forth. So, the concept is Archon is good enough to win the game by itself, which I do believe is true in a lot of spots, especially when you have removal spells and other ways to kind of clear up the board to make it so the Archon is backbreaking enough to end the game. And a lot of what this deck is doing is the rest of the cards are, again, removal spells to help you get until that stage of the game, and ways to make your land drops, like we have 4 copies of Run and 6. And the mana base can be a little bit sketchy at times. You have, 4 Dwarven Mines, which are requirements to play with creativity, because it's a fetchable land, because it's a mountain, that puts a 1/1 into play that you can creativity away. But you have to play 4 of them, because you need to be able to, like, when the game goes long, you want to have access to 4 copies of them. And they do enter the battlefield tapped in the first 3 turns, so your mana can be awkward there. And you also have a basic island and a basic plains to help against Blood Moon, which I agree with, but those also make your Dwarven Mines awkward. So Ren and 6 really ties the room together. It allows you to make all of your land drops and not have these like awkward mana draw situations where you're like, tap land on turn 2, can't play a spell that you want to play or stuff like that. So it really helps you curve out, which is good. Prismatic Ending, just the best removal spell in the format. And then our kind of like combo protection disruption sort of is we're going with Remand, which is a card that you don't see a lot nowadays, mostly because the format has kind of devolved into everybody's playing a lot of cheap spells, and that's where Remand is not at its best. However, because you're playing what is essentially, it's not really a combo deck, but you're trying to, it's like you're trying to put a fatty into play, and what you're doing is powerful enough so that all you really have to do is buy a turn or 2, and that's what Remand is good at. So Remand makes a lot of sense here. Kind of the same thing with Fire Ice, not the most flashy or efficient card, but tapping your opponent's land can kind of sort of effectively time walk them to make it so they can't play a spell they want to play, and that can buy you the necessary turn to cast creativity. We have Teferi X4, which is a very important card because it really stops your opponent from interacting with you at instant speed, which is very important because you have some fragile tokens that you want to creativity away. You can imagine if you creativity and target your own 1/1, if your opponent has, let's say, an Unholy Heat or a Lightning Bolt and they kill your 1/1 in response, your creativity doesn't do anything. So you want to make sure that you can either, there's ways to sidestep that. Obviously with Teferi, if you creativity, let's say you have 3 tokens in play and you target all 3 with creativity, if they blow up one of your tokens, the creativity and the other 2 will still resolve. So that's another way around that as well. And then we have a couple of Jaces here, just kind of rounding things out. The cool thing about Jace is if you draw too many Archons, you can shuffle them back into your deck and then creativity, which, you know, is going to happen sometimes with creativity, so it's good to have access to that. And then the last card I want to highlight here is Prismari Command, doing a couple of cool things here. So it's really good at, like, it's expensive. 3 mana is, you know, kind of a little bit too expensive for what a lot of people would consider as modern standards. But it does so many things, and I think the most important thing is it gives you a treasure. So the treasure being a permanent that you can creativity away that doesn't die to bolt or unholy heat is really important, because they can get you into these spots where you're not afraid to go for it because you think your opponent might have a bolt or something. So it's really good there. It's good against Hammer Time. It helps filter your draws. It helps accelerate you. You can potentially hardcast Archons with the treasure, so it does a lot of work in this deck. And then rounding out things with a main deck Spell Pierce and a couple of Lightning Bolts as additional removal. We've kind of gone over the mana base. We do have access to all 5 colors here because we are playing with green and black cards in the sideboard, and then red and 6 in the main deck. So we have access to all 5 colors, a whole bunch of fetch lands, which is important because of Dwarven Mine. Just make sure that all your fetch lands are red so they can actually get the Dwarven Mine. And then just kind of quickly touching on the sideboard here, we got Blossoming Calm for Burn and Belcher, Bluster Storm for opposing control decks and other certain combo decks. We have Thoughtseize, which is good against combo, decent against control, protecting your stuff, good against stuff like Amulet. Alpine Moon, really good against any Urza Saga deck and any Urza's Tower deck. Veil of Summer here to help against decks that have a lot of discard, like Grixis Shadow, also can be good against control decks. We have an Emrakul, the Eon's Torn, which is certainly here for the mill matchup, so you can't get milled out. It's kind of weird, though, because when you bring in Emrakul, you can creativity into it, and if your opponent has a way to answer it, like a Teferi Time Raveler or something of that nature, it can be kind of awkward when you're creativity into it, so you have to watch out for that. But I do agree that it is kind of necessary to beat Mill, so that's why it's there. And then we have a couple of Wear Tears running out the sideboard, just another good card against Urza Saga, Hammer Time, those kinds of things. So that's the deck. This deck is really sweet. It's a lot of fun, and I am very excited to showcase this to you guys today. So, without further ado, I will see you back here in just a little bit for round number 1. Alright guys, we're here for round number 1. This is Archon Creativity. I guess we can call it Creative Archons. Well, the idea is we're not supposed to have this in our opening hand. That being said, we got a Hard Evidence, we got a Spell Pierce, and we can discard the Archon to Prismari Command. I think this hand's okay. I don't know, it's kind of close. I don't know how often you should be keeping your mulling hands with Archon in their opening hand, but just in case they're playing Burn, I'm not going to take a bunch of damage, and I can hold up Spell Pierce on one if they have a discard spell. Like, if I play Hard Evidence and they go Thoughtseize my Prismari Command, but the rest of my hand is not great. So, A, I don't want to take a million damage to cast Evidence, and B, I kind of want to hold up Spell Pierce. That's why I didn't cast the Hard Evidence. Alright, they're going to cast Serum Visions. That's fine. So it looks like this is Murktide. Which means I'm likely going to get Rogarin Triome, play Hard Evidence, play Land Pass, and then that way if they dash Ragavan, I can blank that. So let's get Rogarin. Alright, land. Land's not too bad, because that gives us the requisite mana to play Prismari Command. So, not too bad. Now we just kind of got to find a Indomitable Creativity. Alright, they're choosing not to crack the bauble, which is interesting. I wonder if that means they're like some kind of Emery deck? Because other than Emery or Rebuke, I don't really understand why you wouldn't crack the bauble there. Metallic Rebuke, that is. Ragavan, okay, looks like just Murktide. I wonder why they didn't crack the bauble. Maybe they forgot. I'm going to get the Ketria Triumph in case I draw red in 6. I could get the Savai Triumph to try to hardcast Archon, but that's not likely to happen this game, I think. Alright, they're bobbling me now, which is kind of weird, because now they know I'm going to crack my fetch. Just gives them less information. Let's get the Ketria. Alright, there's the bobble. Let's take a draw step. Ooh. Interesting. Okay. Got a couple options here. I could Prismari Command main phase. Well, they don't have Counterspell up, but that's pretty bad if they have Spell Pierce. I could Teferi bounce, but they can just dash. Also, it would expose my Teferi to Lightning Bolt or Unholy Heat. Kind of think I just want to go Teferi uptick. And just get a basic mountain to not take a bunch of damage. Oh, excuse me, I don't have a basic mountain. Okay, let's get, I don't know why I thought there was basic mountain in this deck. There's Plains Island. I don't want to get a Plains because that's going to mess up Dwarven Mine if I draw another fetch land. So let's get... I guess we could just get Steam Vents. So, white, red, blue. I mean, if they have Spell Pierce, it's kind of bad. Looks like they do. So maybe I was supposed to bait the Spell Pierce with Prismari Command. Because I'd much rather have that get countered than the Teferi, I think. It's not even necessarily true. I don't know, it's pretty close. Like, we have the Ragavan covered anyways, unless they have bolts. Yeah, we're that. Because that turns on Delirium. Okay, now it's pretty bad. So now they have Counterspell for Prismari Command up. If I draw land, I'll probably just Prismari Command... Or, like, hold up Prismari Command plus Spell Pierce. Maybe main phase. Main phase because if they play land, they get untap and have Counterspell pay for Spell Pierce. See what they do. Just firing off the bolt. Okay. It's a good card, but we need a mana. If I go for Prismari Command and they have Counterspell, it's a pretty big disaster. So I think maybe I'm supposed to just Prismatic Ending and then crack the clue? Perhaps even crack the clue main phase, in case I draw a tap land. It's not like I'm going to Spell Pierce much here anyways. Okay. So now we need to find a fetch land for creativity. Pretty good if they, like, tap out. If they go, let's say... Even Murktide with Counterspell backup, if we draw a fetch land, we can go Creativity with Spell Pierce backup. And then the Archon should be good enough to close it out. I mean, that's the problem with sacking the Clue token there, is that now I don't have a thing for Creativity, but I also was missing my land drop that turn, and it's not a guarantee I draw land next turn. And let's, like... If I don't crack the clue and just go untap Stomping Ground Creativity for 1, they likely have a response. Okay, so perfect. So now we'll Creativity. I guess this gets blown up if they have 2 removal spells, but there's not a lot I can do about that. Hopefully they just have Counterspell. And we just Spell Pierce it and move on. Alright, Spell Pierce that. Get our Archon trigger. Sans Force of Negation, I think we should be pretty good here. Alright. They could have another Unholy Heat. Oh, but yeah, they got rid of their graveyard. What am I saying? Yeah, this game should be over. I guess they could discard a sorcery or something to get closer to Delirium, but yeah, this... Alright. Should be good to go here. I think so. Expressive Iteration's a powerful Magic card, but not when you're facing down an Archon of Cruelty. Okay, Bobble. I mean, they could play a Murktide, but it's just going to die to the triggers, so... I guess they now have Delirium. Okay, alright. They could certainly find a Unholy Heat. Kind of have to find it now. Is shocked. And this is for the prospect of drawing Unholy Heat. Probably don't. Yeah, they don't have it in their opening in their hand right now. Let's see if they find it. Consider. All right, resolves. Still looking for it, apparently. Did they find it? They did not. All right, game number 2 against Murktide Regent. We do have to worry about Blood Moon. It's a card that they typically sideboard in, so I'm going to bring in Wear Tears. I could consider Veil of Summer, I could consider Flusterstorm, I could consider Thoughtseize. I think these 5 are all pretty bad. So it's just which anti-disruption do I want the most? That's a good question. I think I'm not the biggest fan of Prismari Command against Spell Pierce. It's just low upside, because you're killing cards that you don't really care about, like Ragavan and stuff, because you already have Ending Bolt evidence. I think Spell Pierce in the draw is not great. It's much... Flusterstorm is much better, I think. I guess Spell Pierce hits Blood Moon. Interesting. How good is Remand? Remand is honestly not that great in Counter Wars. I could have Flusterstorm or Veil over that. I think I'd prefer Flusterstorm in the Counter Wars, and then Veil of Summer is more for, like, Thoughtseize decks. Could also trim on Jace if I wanted to do that. Could do, like, 1 Thoughtseize on the draw over the second Jace. Just, like, really lower the curve. That's kind of the one thing that I'm getting at, and the reason you want to lower the curve against opposing Ragavan decks is, like, the best... Archon of Cruelty in every opening hand. I think this hand's good, though. The best way for the Ragavan DRC decks to get an advantage is to just play a bunch of spells, and if you can kind of match them on curve, you usually will have more powerful late game than them, because your end game is Archon of Cruelty, and they don't really have a ton of good answers to that stuff. So, okay, not seeing Ragavan is very good because that means we can't get Blood Moon on turn 2. I'm going to lead on, I think, Foothills for Rogger and Triumph, and then I'm just going to... I'm probably going to have to tap out on turn 2 for Ren and 6 and just hope they don't have the Blood Moon. I can't fetch basic planes on turn 1, which would allow me to cast Wear Tear through a Moon, because if I fetch basic planes on 1, then I can't Ren and 6 on turn 2. So... Like, I understand why the basic planes is here, but it is kind of awkward, where it's like, you don't really want to fetch it early, especially when you have draws that involve Ren and 6. Alright, so let's hope they don't have Spell Pierce into Blood Moon. If they have Blood Moon, no Spell Pierce, at least we can... we'll have a Ren and 6 in play, it's not that bad. Unless they have, like, Heat into Blood Moon. Alright. Let's see if they have the Pierce. They do not. Alright, we'll ping the Channeler. Please no Blood Moon. I could have Fire Iced to maybe try to play around Blood Moon. That might have been a better play. Just upkeep Ice them. But then I'm not deploying the Ren and 6, and I'm leaving them with the Channeler in play. Okay. They missed a Surveil. They should have bolted in response to the minus, but... Okay. I guess the good news is that they play Blood Moon, they have no blue mana. But then we have nothing, so... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Are we just gonna do this and draw all of our Archons? Get back the Foothills. I'm gonna play the Mesa this turn, though. Because if they play Blood Moon, I want to be able to get my planes. I wonder how many times SpiderSpace drew all 3 Archons in the showcase. Oh, man. I guess the cool thing about Archon is it's probably a lot easier to hardcast than something like Emrakul. Well, not probably, it definitely is, but it's still double black. You do have a Blood Crypt and a Sabai Triome, so... You got some black sources. Is this a Jace? Looks like a Jace. Could just be a 3/3 or 4/4 Murktide. Okay, 4/4 Murktide is fine. I'm actually not going to crack the fetch yet, because if I draw Dwarven Mine, I might want to get a red fetch, or like a red land. Or excuse me, if I draw Creativity. Yeah, that one's pretty good. Okay, let's just go get a plains. Blue, red, white, Teferi. We'll just bounce the Murktide. Right, bounce the Murktide. And we draw Creativity. Ooh. Now, the only thing we have to do is not draw our last Archon. I think of Creativity. I could have Creativity for 2, right? Oh no, because this plains. I was going to say I could fetch 2 Dwarven Mines, but I wouldn't even be able to do that anyways because I wanted to fetch the plains, which I think was right. So now I'll just end of turn, get a Triumph, untap, get a Dwarven Mine. Alright, they iterated, exiled Counterspell. That's not necessarily the one they want to exile with that. Although we have its fairy anyway, so it's not like it matters too much. Did they find the Blood Moon? No. I mean, even if they cast Blood Moon at this point, like I have my basic, I have a Ren going up, I have a Teferi in play that I can eventually bounce the Blood Moon with, so... Alright, they went bottom top. Did keep a card on top, so... EE for 0. Okay. So that does prevent me from going off with Creativity. So let's get the Triumph. Lightning Bolt, huh? Uptick that. Uptick this. I mean, again, I could kind of just sit here for a little bit and then eventually just start hardcasting Archons. If I had enough mana, I could Creativity the Explosives. Or, excuse me, Fire Ice them. If I had 6 mana, I could ice a land, and then Creativity for X equals 1. I don't have enough mana, though, so I think I'm just going to pass. Discard the Mesa they know about. I just don't want to ice them. I don't really see a reason not to ice them at least once. I don't know, they have enough mana. It's probably not that relevant. Consider. Binded Explosives. You can cast the Murktide as a 6/6. Oh, but this is good, because now I can EOT tap the Steam Vents if they don't have a land. Even if they do, I can just tap both lands. And then Creativity. Okay, so let's go end of turn. Ice your land. Please don't draw the 3rd Archon. Oh, they've conceded from the game. Okay. Would we have drawn the Archon? No. Okay. But yeah, I was going to tap this, untap Creativity for 1, kill this, and then, you know, we're just going super off with the Ren and Teferi. So we're 1-0. We beat Murktide Region, and I'll see you back here in just a little bit for round number 2. All right, round number 2. We are... What are we up against? A lot of Planeswalkers in our opening hand. This hand is weird. So we can go Triumph on 1, hopefully draw a fetch land so we can play Ren on 2. If not, ice them on 2, and then hopefully draw an untapped land for Teferi. I think this hand's okay. This hand's kind of busted if I draw a fetch land, but... It's like, not the best opening hand, but, you know, mana, Fire Ice, some cards. It seems fine. I've kept worse hands. Let's just say that. Opponent mulls to 4, so they're either Belcher or Tron, most likely. Could be Oops All spells. There's been a lot of Oops All spells over the past couple of days. I think that deck is really good. I actually uploaded a video with it, so if you want to go check that out. It's actually the deck that I played in the Showcase Challenge in this event. It's a good deck. Yeah, it looks like they're Oops. Matchup is not great. Not great. Alright, I think I'm going to ice them. Ice them. Trying to find an untapped land. Okay, Remand is something, I guess. It's something. It's not great, but it's something. Alright, so Savai Triome, I think. And just pass. This is why I've always hated the planes. I will say that. Alright, looks like they're not casting a spell. If I play Teferi, I'm probably going to die. I guess I could just hold up Prismari Command, and then if they don't play into the Remand, if maybe they don't have a black source, then I can end of turn loot treasure, probably? Yeah, where's loot treasure? Draw 2, treasure. And I can discard the Archon, and I think the Spell Pierce? Maybe the Jace. There's no way the Jace is going to be relevant this game. Oh, wait a minute. I just realized something. Prismari Command kills them. You just make them draw 2. Target player draws 2 cards, so you just let them mill their entire deck. Alright, cool. Let's do that. So I even play Ren and 6. I forgot about that. I think playing Ren and 6 is fine. I totally forgot about that. The problem is now I've shown them the commands, they might just not even go for it. Oh, they're gonna go for it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It wouldn't work if they weren't tapped out. Because if they had a mana left over, what they could do... Well, I'll do this in response, but... And then I'll show you after. Alright, I will make you draw 2. Draw 2... 2 damage... Deals 2 damage, draw 2. So hypothetically... I gotta screenshot this one, though. I gotta screenshot this one for Twitter. So hypothetically, if they had a mana untapped, what they could do is they could exile Jack-o'-lantern, any mana of any color. If they had 1 mana untapped, they could exile Jack-o'-lantern to make a green, and then they could flashback Memory's Journey to shuffle cards back into their decks. They wouldn't deck to the Prismari command, but it doesn't work if they don't have cards in hand, obviously. I'm going to update the screenshot with the Doomblake wins. That is a really good screenshot. Okay, never mind. Drop Prismari command and we win. Okay, Thoughtseize is good. Wear Tear is good because they have a lot of fast mana, artifact-based. Emrakul's not good. I'm trying to think if Bale's good. They don't have really many discard spells, and their sideboard cards are usually like Prismatic Ending, Leyline, and Pact of Negation. I guess Veil is okay against Pact, but Alpine Moon stinks. This one's good against Belcher. Well, good-ish. It, like, buys you a turn. I don't know if it's actually good. Flusterstorm would normally be good against combo, but their combo pieces are all creatures, and their mana is all artifacts, so it doesn't actually counter anything. So I don't really know that I even want Flusterstorm. Jace seems horrendous, so we'll cut Jace. Way too slow. Prismatic Ending is good, because, again, a lot of artifact mana. Bolt's not great. I just cut Bolt. This looks okay, right? I like Spell Pierce to counter their mana. Teferi's okay, it's not great. This one kind of, like, buys you some time tapping lands. Alright, let's go with this. Again, I just don't think I want Flusterstorm. Blossoming Calm could be good, because they're probably going to bring in Belcher, but... Well, they actually have Belchers in their main deck, but... They just don't have a ton of Belchers, and it's really bad against the graveyard stuff. It doesn't stop any of that. So it's, like, only good against some of their draws. I don't know, you could maybe justify it. It's better, obviously better against, like, the all-in Belcher deck that doesn't have the graveyard stuff, but... Alright, everybody, back here for game number 2. Our opponent has mulliganed, and we have a kind of an awkward hand here. Our mana's really bad in this hand because we have 2 Dwarven Mines, which are both basic mountains. We don't have the ability to cast all 4 of these. We actually can't even cast more than 2 of them, I think. I can get Ketria Triumph. I can go Ketria Triumph on 1. Yeah, it's just not going to work, because I go Ketria Triumph on 1, then I have to play a tap land on turn 2, hopefully get to Spell Pierce something. I guess then on 3 I can go Ren and 6, get back this, Blood Crypt, Thoughtseize you. Can we do better? I'm going to try it. I don't know, this hand is really close. I think if the second mine was just any fetch land, this hand would be a snap keep, but I could be certainly wrong in keeping this hand for sure. It's also possible that I'm just going to get a Steam Vents. Okay, well, I'm not going to counter that. It's actually kind of funny. They can exile my Foothills if I go back to rent it. That's hilarious. I still think I want to get the Ketria Triumph here. Awkward. Alright. Play this and pass. Hopefully can Spell Pierce something, like a Mana Rock. Then I can maybe just hold up Remand. Alright, they're not playing into the Spell Pierce. Alright. I'm going to Ren first to try and get them to use this. Which they do. That's fine, because we drew the Scalding Tarn, not that big of a deal. I'm going to get Blood Crypt and Thoughtseize them. Hope they don't have 2 combo pieces. They don't. Alright. So they're a mana and a combo piece away, which is good, because we got some time. Okay, that I don't care about. Alright, so now let's go get back Tarn. Kind of want to get a blue source this turn so I can Remand and Fire Ice. Does it make sense? Well, I guess I could play the Tarn and ice them on their upkeep. And then if they don't play into the Remand, then I can just get a Dwarven Mine to start the beatdowns. Ooh. Okay, double creativity kills them pretty quickly. Jack-o'-lantern is fine, I don't mind that. And they are not cycling the Lantern. That's interesting. Alright, let's just go untap. Crack this. So we know they have Vengevine, Vengevine, Oracle. Let's get a Dwarven Mine. Play a Dwarven Mine. Creativity, these 2 away. We get 2 Archons. Alright, they take 6. What's this? They're going to loot with the Lantern. Probably should have got back a land with Ren first, perhaps. Maybe that would have baited the Lantern activation. Yeah, that might have been better if I plus the Ren first. Although they probably would have Lanterned it. Okay. They have cast Thassa's Oracle, which cannot block. They are still dead, though. Alright, cool. I don't really know if this matchup is actually good, but game 1 we just drew Prismari Command. They didn't have an answer to it. And game 2 they mulliganed, stumbled a little bit, and, drew some minimal disruption, and then eventually found our piece. So we're 2-0. I'll see you back here in just a little bit for round number 3. Alright, everybody, round number 3, 2-0. Let's see if we can keep it going. We have a hand that plays. A hand that definitely plays. So I want to go, I think, Ketria into... trying to think of the best way to sequence my lands, because I want to fetch land in the graveyard on turn 2, so I don't want to go Savai Triumph into Stomping Ground. And I'd like to get blue mana. Oh, I guess I could go Rogarin into Stomping. That's probably the best way to do this. Yeah, Rogarin into Stomping is probably the best course of action. Oof. Oof. Okay, well, change of plans. Well, we're still going to play Ren and 6, but... we are now going to kill their creature. Red, green... God, when you're on the play and you get to Ren and 6, a turn 1 mana creature, it just, like... feels kind of gross. Feels kind of gross. Then we can go tap land, hold up Remand next turn. Could also just hold the Triumph in hand. to potentially cycle if they don't play into the counterspell, which I think I'm actually going to do. Yeah, I don't really need the mana, and I'd rather just cycle with how many land drops I have. Question is, do I ice them or do I hold up Remand? Boomer Junt, huh? I think I'm going to ice them. Yeah, let's ice them. This is worse, maybe if they have Thoughtseize. Because I was thinking, like, I could ice them to prevent a Liliana, but if they... Well, I guess... Yeah, no, I don't know. Let's get the Ketria, I think. Jace the Mind Sculptor. Alright, plus the Ren and 6. Question is, do I Brainstorm or do I plus? Kind of don't want my Jace to get bolted or Bloodbraid Elfed. But I guess I'm going to get a Dwarven Mine here. I think I'm still just going to plus on myself. Yeah. I don't want my Jace to get bolted. I know I have a second Jace in play, but I don't want to be forced to, like, tap out again next turn. Definitely don't want to put that on the bottom. Definitely want to draw that card. Now I could just Creativity for X equals 2 next turn. Potentially. I assume they're going to kill this Dwarf token end of turn. No. Okay. I wonder if they're like the Jund Sack deck. And they have a company here. Vista. I guess they could Blood Moon me, but I already have a token in play, so it's not that bad. Oh, they probably have Bolt, though, right? Hmm. Do I go for it? I don't know. I didn't think about Blood Moon. Maybe I should have been fetching a basic there instead of getting the Dwarven Mine. Could have got a Plains. Blood Moon was not on my mind. Alright, I'm just going to Brainstorm. Okay. Do I want to go for it is the question. I think so. It's not really getting any better, right? So let's put back the second Jace, which I can't cast. And then this. And then I could attack first. Like, I just don't think it's getting any better, and that's why I want to go for it here. Alright, cool. That worked. And I brainstormed first because if that did happen, I wanted to be able to, shuffle away the brainstorm cards. Like, I put cards back and then resolve the creativity, which kind of shuffles the cards away. So that's why I wanted to brainstorm first. I mean, I know they could have had a bolt there, but, you know, given the fact that my Dwarven Mines are turned off, and I have no basic lands, like, I'm not really getting a better opportunity to do it there. So I might as well just go for it. And now they can't cast Liliana, because they have a Blood Moon in play. Now I can maybe Jace to try and find my one island. Discarded Mayhem Devil Grist. Okay, so they are kind of like a sack deck, but they have main deck Blood Moon, though. Interesting. You don't usually see main deck Blood Moon in the sack decks. Oh. Okay, that's kind of bad for me. Because now they can kill the Archon. Can bolt the Grist. And or just ping the Grist with Ren. Yeah, that happens. Okay. Archon down. I'm not going to bolt yet, because I might want to save the bolt for something else. Okay. That's a start. I mean, need to find a basic, but I got a brainstorm here. I need to find a basic land. Okay, basic island is a start, and now that turns into Prismaric Command, which turns into Prismatic Ending. Okay, good. So, let's put back, I think, these two. Let's go Ren, ping the Grist. Let's play Island. And I think just to not have to discard, I think I'm just gonna kill the Seasoned Pyromancer and make a treasure because I just don't want to discard. 2 damage, treasure. Alright, now we can just pass. And then we can use the treasure next turn in combination with the island to kill the Blood Moon, and then we should be chilling. The game should be pretty straightforward from there. What's this? I think I'll just let one of my Planeswalkers take a point of damage. I don't want to bolt the token when I have a Ren in play. Jace takes 1. Not a big deal. Fury. So they can kill Jace, but then I can just bolt the Fury. Yeah, it's fine. That is fine. Can EOT cycle the Triome? Yeah, we can just go bolt the Fury, run the token. I don't really need Jace to win this game. So cycle land. Let's ping the token. Bolt the Fury so I can get it. Oh, I meant to kill the Blood Moon first. Whoops. In my head, I was going to kill the Blood Moon and then do this, but it's not a huge deal. White, red, blue, this. Uptick, go. Not a huge deal. Yeah, in my head, I wanted to play the mine after I had killed the Blood Moon, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. Goblin Bombardment. Okay. Alright, now remember, Goblin Bombardment does represent ways to kill Archon, so we do have to keep that in mind. Let's start by getting back Triome, and then cycle Triome and see where we go from there. Found a Fire Ice. Okay, let's I'm at 18. I could bounce Goblin Bombardment, but I think I'd rather just wait on that. Just play turn and pass. What's going to happen is they're going to end of turn activate the Pyromancer, and then I'm going to force the action. Just kill both their tokens to force them to sack to the bombardment before they take their draw step. Gives them less information, and I can hold up. I guess Romance not doing anything, but alright, kill this, kill this. Let's do this. And I want to kill these before I start fetching Dwarven Mines, because I don't want them to be able to kill my tokens in case I draw a Creativity. Alright, they're pinging Ren. That's fine. We have another Ren anyways. We're almost towards hardcasting Archon, so alright, they're off it. So, Jund Sacrifice. With Blood Moons, we want Weird Tears. Calm seems not great. Fluster, Thoughtseize, Moon, Veil. They could have discard spells, so Veil could be good. I'm not really sure that I want it, though. Spellpierce seems not great. And then on the draw, they go kind of wide. I can see cutting a Jace. Yeah, let's just try this. I don't want a ton of cards. I think this is fine. I want to keep all my removal, and it's really just like, as long as we can contain their battlefield and not let them have Blood Moon for a considerable amount of time, it should be pretty easy, I think. Okay. This hand's not great, but I think it's a keep on 6. I don't want to go to 5. Okay, let's lead on Triome. And then next turn I'm going to lead on Mesa. Just in case they have Blood Moon on curve, I can fetch the basic planes. I don't want to, but if they have Blood Moon, I kind of have to. Good news is we can just creativity the grab token. I'm gonna save the fetch. Pretty good draw. Alright, your turn. We can just creativity next turn. And if they have Blood Moon, I can just float mana and then kill it. Yeah, if they cast Blood Moon, they probably lose this game. Because we can creativity the clue token, not even have to worry about them having a removal spell. Looks like they're going to cast Grist. Seasoned Pyromancer. Okay. Grist could be an issue. What can I do about Grist, though? I could try to wait in creativity for X equals 2? Well, no, because I can just curve creativities. Yeah. Alright, now I'm going to fetch a land, because I want to have the Dwarven Mine come into play on tap, so I can actually cast my creativity. I'm going to kill the Dwarf token while they're tapped out. Because that's the one... The Dwarf token is the one that's the easiest for them to kill. So I'd rather kill the weakest creature while they're tapped out. And then next turn, when they have mana available, I can go for creativity X equals 2 on the crab and the clue, and they likely can't respond. And then I just get 2 Archons. So they get back Bloodghast, sack Bloodghast, kill this, but then I just double Archon them. I guess they could have a bolt or a push, but... They even played this for a blocker, just in case. I'm still not going to target the token, because I don't want them to have... It just increases the range of stuff they could have. So, rather just not... And then they have no cards in hand, so... They'll probably sack these 2, discard their 2 cards, they'll be left with a Grist and a Hierarch. Yeah, this game should be over. Game should be over. They croaks at me? Ooh. They hit an insect. Alright, 3-0. This deck feels kind of busted. I know, now I know why SpiderSpace did so well. This deck's been insane. Not much to say there. 3-0. I'll see you back here in just a little bit for round number 4. Alright, everybody. Round number 4. We're 3-0. This hand, again, that Archon every opening hand, but, like, it's a pretty good 6-card hand. I'm going to keep it. I would appreciate not having Archon in every opening hand, but, you know. Alright, Saga No Companion. Probably Amulet. Amulet does not seem like a great matchup. I will say that. It seems like they're just a little bit faster. We'll see, though. We'll see how this plays out. Alright, castle. I have to get a green source. I think my plan is to just play Ren and hope they don't have a Titan next turn. I think it's pretty hard for them to Titan next turn. I'm not 100% positive, but I think I want to play the Ren in 6. Red, green, this, Megaland. Your turn. What do we have for Titan in the sideboard? We have Alpine Moon, Thoughtseize. Probably Wear Tear to kill Saga and Amulet. We got some stuff. Kills Dryad too. Okay, we get some sideboard cards. We have another Saga. Okay. It's 3 mana Dryad, yeah. Which I guess we can kill. But then, if they have a bounce land, they can Titan me. It's probably better to just Prismatic Ending the Amulet, hold up Remand. So let's go... I gotta get a blue source. Let's play the Mesa, because they know about that one. Let's get a blue source. Ending the Amulet. Uptick there, pass, hold up Remand. I could ice them, but... Maybe icing them was good, because it's unlikely... Oh, I was going to say they have Cavern, but they have to float the Cavern mana into the castle, so I do actually get to cast Remand here. Which is good. And then I can Creativity. Okay, okay. We might be cooking with gas here. Problem is they're going to get to... Yeah, the problem is they're going to get to get an amulet and then Titan me again next turn. So this might not be good enough. It's good, but I don't know if it's good enough. Alright, they know about the Mesa, so let's just do this. Get a Dwarven Mine. Always yield. Get back a land. Creativity my token. Get an Archon, kill their Dryad. They're going to keep the Titan in hand. I mean, I guess we can take it, or we could just trade for the Titan, right? Because I don't know if it's going to be lethal. We might be able to just trade for Titan and get another Titan, or get another Archon next turn. We'll see. We'll see how this, goes. So they get Amulet, Blade Titan, get Slayer's Hasteland, 8, do that. We'll see. Because we know they can attack with the Titan this turn, but I might be able to beat one Titan attack. Oh, they're just gonna transmute for a second one though. Is the problem? Yeah, that's the issue. Because they can probably re-Titan me again next turn, even after I trade and Archon them again. That's the problem. I wonder if there was a different way I could have sequenced. I could have iced them the turn that I held up Remand. But then I still would have been in a spot where I wanted to jam the Archon. So basically, it would be the same spot, but I would have Remand in my hand instead of Ice, which arguably might have been better. Well, actually, wait a minute. I could probably just take this, attack with Archon, they have to sack the Titan, then I can Ice the next Titan. Maybe. We'll see. I didn't think about that. Okay. Haste is fine. Oh, they might have the double strike land. Yeah, because they can pick up the castle, get Vesuva double strike land, and that's 16 exactly, which means I have to chump block. But if they do that, we take 8, and then we Archon them again to sack the Titan. So maybe we're not dead? Because if they're getting the double strike land, that means they're not getting Teleria West, and they're not getting a second Titan, unless they already have a second Titan rolled up, but... Alright, they do have the double strike land, so we have to chump block and take 8. But, again, we can Archon them again, so it's maybe not too bad. Hopefully, I think our best draw is probably another ending for the amulet, because then we can creativity and ending the amulet. Alright, so I chump block. Oh, excuse me, I take, what's 16 minus 6? It's 10. I go to 6, not 8. I thought I was taking 8 this turn. I'm taking 10. I'm not very good at math. Alright, I'm at 6. Let's go... Dwarven Mine. Creativity, just this. Sack Titan, discard. Alright, alright. Your turn. Now I'm at 9. So if they have a second Titan, I think I am dead, right? Because they can do the same thing. Haste double strike, I believe. I mean, I think if we don't die this turn, we are in great shape. Because we have the ice to tap down to future Titans. That's probably not good. That was probably not good for us. So, float green, untap. 1, 2, 3. Or activate. Yeah, we should be dead at the end of the Titan, I think. I believe so. Trying to think of anything I could have done differently. Again, I could have cast Ice instead of Remand. I had to cast the ending the turn I did, because I went an ending Remand and then into Creativity. I don't really think I had a different line. I think my hand kind of just played itself. Ending the first Amulet, Remand the Titan, untap, slam Creativity, and that's the turn I chump blocked. Yeah, I don't really think there was much else I could have done. Alright, we are dead. Going to game number 2. First game we lost it, by the way. Bring in these, bring in these, bring in these. Bolt's not great. Spell Pierce, not great. Jace, I'm not in love with. And then I think I'm going to cut a Teferi? Teferi's kind of slow. Let's go with this. Alright, back here for game 2. Down a game to Amulet. I think this is on the low end of keeps because it doesn't really have any interaction, but we did bring in some good interaction, and it's just, you know, evidence into ran into Creativity, so I think this hand's fine. Just trying to think if I want to play the Triumph on one or if I want to go Steam Vents into Stomping Ground. I probably can just go Steam Vents into Stomping Ground. So let's do that. Because then the Ren can just keep getting back lands, and I can eventually cycle this. Like, the reason I want to do this on 1 is because I want to go 1-drop into Ren into Cycle Triumph, potentially. Alright, we have a Grazer. Grazer is actually pretty good in these spots, because it allows them, it gives them some sacrifice fodder, so they don't have to sack, like, a Dryad or something if they have a Dryad. So Grazer can be pretty important in this matchup, for sure. Alright. Play a Stomping Ground. Play Ren and 6. Third Creativity is not exactly what I'm looking for, but, you know. It's what we got. It's what we got. So now they go land Dryad. We need to find a piece of interaction. If I can find, like, a Remand, or a Wear Tear, or maybe a Thoughtseize, some way to break up their turn 3 Titan, this is going to be a little bit easier for us. Outside of that, it's going to be tough. They're just going to be a turn 2 slow. If I brick, I think I have to sack the clue here, because I have to find a piece of interaction. That would have counted if I drew that for my draw step, but doesn't really count now. There's just no reason to cast it, right? I don't think so. But we're probably dead. I'll probably just fast forward the video till the point where my opponent's killing me, so bear with me for a second. Okay, well, we're back. Our opponent did not kill us. They made a token, played a second Dryad, got a map. So it looks like they don't have the Titan yet. So that means we get to play Magic. So our turn's pretty scripted here. We'll get a Mine, Creativity for 1, and then next turn we can actually Creativity for 2, which is pretty good. So we can get 3 Archons into play. Might be good enough. Still might not be good enough, but... I could have maybe endinged the map, but no, I can't do that. I have to put a threat into play this turn. My only way that I'm winning this game is hope that they... I don't know. Yeah, I guess they just don't have a Titan, but they can go crack the map for a Teleria West. Transmute Teleria West. Well, they wouldn't have enough mana for a Titan. Maybe. Maybe we're okay. Okay, so they're sacrificing the map. They got a Valakid. I see, I see, I see. Okay. Interesting. Remember that turn I didn't kill the Grazer? Actually gonna get super punished for that. Because I can Creativity for 2, but they just sack Grazer Dryad, and then they can still Dryad down the last Archon next turn. So I actually can't even really do that. Yeah, that's actually kind of bad. Okay. Definitely got punished for not casting for not casting ending that one turn. The turn that I cycled the clue token. I thought that I wanted to hold it for like a Saga token or an amulet, but turns out it would have been a lot better if I had cast it. Okay, well, they had another Grazer anyways. So they have no cards. They're going to pick up the bounce land. Okay, token dead. Wonder if they go after Ren and 6 here. And I actually can't even Creativity for 2 now. Because I lost my tokens. Okay, so Ren's being attacked. I drew a Wooded Foothills. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do this turn is get back a land, step 1. I think what I want to do is Prismatic Ending a Dryad. Like, if I Creativity for 1... Oh, they discard the bounce land. And then everything is fine unless they draw a bounce land or a Titan. Probably losing to Titan either way, right? Maybe I should Creativity for 1 here and just hope they don't draw a Titan or a bounce land. And then next turn I can attack and Creativity for 1 again. Or I could Ending... If I cast Ending and kill a Dryad, they can play the Gruul Turf twice, dome me for 6, I go to 10, or probably kill Ren and 6, I go to 13, attack me to 11. Their board is these 3. Next turn I Creativity for 2, they sack these, still keep the Dryad, and I'm still probably losing to a Titan. Okay, I actually think casting Creativity now is better, the more I think about it. I could target a Dryad, but if they flip a Titan, it's really bad, so I'm not going to do that. Alright, so they lose their bounce land. We drew a Teferi. Alright, please don't draw a bounce land or a Titan. Cavern of Souls is totally fine. Okay, now we should be good. I think. Maybe if they draw a Titan, they can get out of this. I'm not sure, though, because they're going to have 1 Dryad left. It's going to be tough if they draw exactly Titan. Oh, no, because no, I don't have enough mana. I was going to say I have 6 mana, so I can go Creativity and kill a Dryad, but I can't do that. Oh, but I can Ending the Grazer. Right. I can Ending the... No, I don't have white mana. Because I can... Hypothetically, I could fetch a white source, Ending the Grazer, attack, they sack Dryad. Well, let's start with that, because I think that gives me more outs. I'm trying to think of this. Ending Grazer, attack, they sack Dryad. Or attack, they sack Grazer. It ends up being the same thing, right? Okay, no. Yeah, because attack, they sack Grazer, then second Archon, they sack this. So it ends up being the exact same thing. So I'll just attack. Let them sack the Grazer. Yeah, it ends up being the same thing. So, get a mine. Let's do this. Trigger, they go to 4. Alright, your turn. Oh, I should have played the Ren and 6. It's fine. I mean, even if they draw Titan, I think they're still dead, right? Because they can Titan... Yeah, that's not going to be enough. They can kill 1 Archon and then still be dead to the other one. They're going to dome themselves. Alright, cool. Game 3. I think... I don't know. I don't know if I played that game optimally. I think it was close. think there was maybe a couple of spots that I could have made some different plays, but game number 3. Let's see. I think I like how I sideboarded, so let's just run it back. All right, game 3. All the marbles. Okay, well, my track record with opening hand Archon is pretty good, so I think I should keep this hand. I also think it's just a fine hand. Man is a little awkward. I actually kind of wish this was just a Blood Crypt or a red fetch land, because I could curve Thoughtseize into hold up Remand. But now, if I want to Thoughtseize, I kind of have to go like this on 1, Thoughtseize, second Triome on 2, which is fine, because Thoughtseize should prevent me from getting like really fast Titans, so I'm going to keep this and just lead on Savai Triome. Alright, opponent mulls to 6. And they stay on 6. Okay. We're off to the races. Cavern of Souls. Amulet. Alright. Interesting draw step. It's actually quite good, because now I can lead on Thoughtseize, take a peek at their hand, and get some information on the Alpine Moon. Could name a bounce land, could name a Saga. Although if they had Saga, they probably would have played it there. So, but Alpine Moon, if they only have 1 bounce land, can kind of mess with them a little bit. Okay, it's a castle. Definitely going to lead. Interesting. Okay. So they have Pact, Grazer, Sanctuary. So let's take Pacts. And then I think I'm going to name the Celestia Sanctuary. It's kind of awkward if they draw Saga. But it does make it so they can't float 2 mana off of this, so it really cuts their mana generation. Oh, right, it also comes into play untapped, so they can't even pick it up. Right. So yeah, definitely, that's definitely the right play. It cuts them off of any possibility of being able to play Titan this turn. Hopefully we draw land. It's a painful land. I'm kind of worried about just dying to Dryad of the Elysian Grove. I think I'm actually not going to Thoughtseize them here. Because if they draw... no, because if they draw Titan... I drew a second Sanctuary. I don't know how many they play, but they usually play a split. That's funny. Okay, so their last card's Arboreal Grazer. Last card is Grazer. Alright, you have a Grazer. I could have just cycled my Remand there. Maybe I should have. Hopefully we just draw a fetch land. Hard Evidence. Okay, that's not too bad. So the good news here is if they draw Titan, they actually can't Cavern it out. Okay, now they can, I was going to say. They couldn't Cavern it out before because they couldn't activate... these only tap for 1 mana, so that's what I was getting at. But now that they can, I think I have to just jam an Archon here. It's time to jam. So if they draw Primeval Titan, we're in really bad shape. But if we can Fate a Titan for 1 turn, I think we might be okay. But I don't think there's many other ways that I can do that. Engineered Explosives, huh? Certainly don't care about that one. Alright, we'll go to attacks. They'll sack the Dryad. Should be good to go here. Alright, 14. We go to 8. Let me play land and pass. Just not going to play any spells. Just hold up my stuff. I can, like, Prismaric Command and Amulet it if they draw Titan, but I don't even think Titan's enough to get them out of this, so... Should be good to go. They gave us the GGs. We are 4-0. I thought that matchup was going to be bad, but, you know, their hands were not the best. And our Game 3 hand was pretty good, so... anyways, we're 4-0, and I will see you back here in just a little bit for round number 5. Alright, here we are, round number 5. This is our trophy match. Alright, what do we have here? No fetch land, huh? Turn 2 Ren and 6, but no fetch land. If we draw any fetch land, this hand's really good. But if we don't draw a fetch land, this hand's kind of just non-functional, so I think I have to mulligan. But man, if that hand had a fetch land, it would be really good. Okay, this is acceptable. It's not ideal, but it's acceptable. Let's see what they're up to. They mulligan to 6. Stayed on 6. Alright, Triumph on 1. Because I want to be able to cast Ice on 2. Probably going to get a White Source. Ketria Triumph, huh? Alright, I want to cycle this. Fire Ice. I'm definitely going to cast Ice here. Hopefully I find a land so I can go Evidence plus Hold Up Remand next turn. And I'm going to get, I think, Sacred Foundry. Let's Ice this. Okay. Not the best. Are we playing the mirror? We may be playing the mirror. Okay, well, I'm going to jam Evidence. And I think I might sack the Clue token here. It's possible I should have gotten a second blue source there. But I really wanted to get a white source in case I just peeled Teferi. Because then I probably would have just jammed Tef there. Okay, they're going to hold up... They're going to hold up Remand. Interesting. Alright, I'm going to select this. Interesting. You're going to ice me? It's really bad. I think it's kind of pointless to remand that. Oh, no. Oh, no, not like this. Yeah, probably would have been a little bit better if I'd fetched the second blue source. Given that I had hard evidence, like, I had a bunch of blue cards in my hand, it probably was worth just not getting a white source for a potential Teferi that I didn't have. And just, like, giving myself the opportunity to cast multiple spells. So, might have been a punt. I don't think we can beat an Archon here. Although, yeah, because they have too many tokens to protect against my Archon trigger. So, yep, that one's on me. I should have fetched a second blue source. I don't know if I would have won this game if I had fetched the second blue source, but would have been in a little bit of a better position. Now I think we're just dead. Yeah, like, I can Creativity, they sack this, attack, sack this. I don't know. I'll play it out. I'm not dead, but just kind of dead. So they sack this, then they attack, and I have to sack this. Guess maybe I can Creativity again? But... Go to 4. We also assume they probably have Remand. Okay. Even if they don't have Remand, I'm dead, right? Because I cast this, go to 2, cast this, they sack this, I go to 5, and they attack. Yeah, I'm just dead. Okay. Yeah, maybe that game is winnable if I get the second blue source. I'm not sure that it is, though. Luster Storm's good. So it's a question of, do I want Thoughtseize and or Veil of Summer? Prismatic Ending is good, Creativity's good. Not like the biggest fan of Remand and Counter Wars. Lightning Bolt's also not great. This card's kind of clunky. Maybe 2 of each. Again, just more cheap cards. Does that make sense? I don't know. Remand is pretty good against the 4, like this thing being a 4-mana spell. I could see arguments for keeping Remand. We're on the play, too, so it's a little bit better. Maybe I just don't want Veil of Summer. Keep in, like, a Prismarine command. Oh, no, I gotta cut one card. I was adding a card, but I have to cut a card. I'll cut the third Remand. Let's do that. I'm not sure if this is right. I've not played this matchup before, so... not really sure how to sideboard. I will fully admit that. Teferi ending Archon. So, Teferi ending 4 lands, basically. Sand is not really that good. But a mulligan. Alright, I guess this is keepable. It's not great, but... they play Hard Evidence. I think I'm going to Prismatic getting the Clue token. It's so bad if they play Ren and 6. Okay, let's actually not do that, because if they play Ren, I can just Prismatic ending the Ren, hold up Flusterstorm. But then they can play Teferi. Are they going to ice me? Looks like they're going to ice me. Okay. I've been iced. I think I'm just going to let it go. Okay, I want to be efficient with my mana, so this turn I am going to Prismatic getting the token, hold up Flusterstorm. And then... they just pass with mana up. I can't really go for it. I guess they're going to jam Teferi here. I don't have Dispute, so that resolves. And then my Archon gets their Crab token. I should actually wait, right? Because if I wait, I can Creativity for 2 and get both of these. So yeah, I think I should wait. If I Creativity for 1, they just sack this and then bounce it with Teferi. So I think I have to wait. It's just, like, not really that good in play. And then if they go land Creativity, ideally it's not a Dwarven Mine. Oh, I guess they could just hold up their Creativity, huh? They don't have to cast it immediately. Yeah. This is a bad spot. I mean, I kind of have to go for it, but... kind of have to go for it. They could also just have Fire Ice. I think I'm far enough behind that I can't really afford to play around anything. I'll probably just pack it in if they have Fire Ice. They could Creativity in response for X equals 1. And then I only get 1 Archon. Then they have to sack the Teferi. Well, then they just sack Teferi attack and they get the other Archon, which is also bad for me. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I could have done differently. I think my head just kind of played itself. Oh. They got a tap land. Okay. What's this? So they're going to kill a token, loot, and then they sack the crab. Yeah, it's not great, because they can bounce with Teferi. They are at 7, though. They were at 7. Did I board out bolts? I don't remember if I boarded out bolt. I did. Which I think is correct, but... they decided to bring in Thoughtseize. So they probably take the Ren. Yep, makes sense. Because my hand is just all dead cards. I guess I just have to try and peel into the creativity and probably just jam. I don't really think I can afford to wait. Okay. Let's go this, and then sacrifice the clue. Try and find a spell to play. That is not a spell to play. 6, 7? I mean, we're not that far. We're only one land away from hardcasting Archon. Could happen. Could happen. Alright. Loot treasure. I'm just going to cast a big creativity. If they X equals 3, I think I'll just scoop to that. Well, I could hypothetically draw my own in X equals 2. Right? Yeah. Like, if I just draw creativity X equals 2, they sack 2, they attack, I sack 1, then I attack and they sack this. I guess the Teferi messes that up. But hypothetically, I could draw creativity. That is not a creativity. Alright, we're dead. So, closing out the league. Again, I don't think I played that last matchup the best. Maybe I sideboarded incorrectly. That matchup is tough. It's a difficult matchup for sure. Just, there's a lot of, like, really big haymaker plays and trying to sequence your spells correctly. It's definitely difficult. So that's a matchup I need some more experience in. But overall, deck felt incredible. This is a really good version of the creativity deck if you're into that sort of stuff. As I said in the intro, I like the Archons, because when you were playing with Emrakul and Emissary before, you, got to these weird spots where you were kind of forced to creativity X equals 1, but sometimes you just hit the wrong thing, and with Archon, you just never hit the wrong thing, and, Archon is good enough to win the game by itself most of the time, so definitely would recommend this build if you're into the creativity stuff. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see everybody in the next one.